Welcome Pisces to your in-depth weekly forecast for week commencing the 30th of October for the Sun or the Ascendant, your two rulers, Jupiter. It's very much about spiritual appreciation, but we can all have our different faiths. Some people's faith is totally in science. Some people's faith is in much less tangible realms. But Jupiter starts this week in contact with Mars, and if you recall, that really reached a peak last Friday. So for the first half of this week, they're really amping up your desire to say how you feel, and in a way that's what the lunar eclipse was asking you to do. Say how you feel. The thing is, we don't always say how we feel. We say things that we often think people want to hear, or what we think we should say. So we're quite conditioned to run on need for expression through a more logical vein, which the third house is about because it's very Gemini-like. But I feel that the passion that influence stimulated is very much to the fore at the start of this week. Then Venus in your opposite sign arcs back to Uranus in the same sign as Jupiter, house 3, and can stimulate a discussion, a connection, a text message exchange, perhaps a connection with someone through the internet that really can be very exciting. Also, Saturn ends its retrograde in your sign, and if you are born right at the start of the sign of Pisces, in the first 7 days or the first 7 degrees of the sign of Pisces, there is no doubt about it, your life has probably felt more serious, perhaps even a little bit more limited at times since March the 7th, but particularly since the middle of June, and perhaps your physical vitality has been lower too. But then Neptune in the same sector, same sign, your sign, your other ruler, goes face to face with Venus, which is one of the most magical influences in astrology. It can have its downside because it can kind of kid us around our reality. So for example, if you do have a connection with someone, don't be too quick to think that they're the real deal. You may need to work into this relationship. But there could be truly some kind of dazzling connection. Maybe it's someone's going to appreciate something about you and tell you how they feel. It could be about your work. If you have an interest or a hobby that you're particularly skilled at, you can seem to get better responses from other people. Also, the Sun, Mercury and Mars continue in your 9th house, which is really seeing you want to rip up parts of your life and be more adventurous and daring and just get on the front foot more and be less reflective. So that's exciting. There is a quarter moon, however, which occurs at the end of this week in the 6th house for you, arcing back to the Sun in house 9. You could feel a bit conflicted towards the end of this week if you're not able to focus on that need for freedom when responsibilities and obligations may come up. You might have to make some kind of compromise that you don't really want to make. And of course, you are someone who can be very, very kind and very thoughtful to the needs of others, particularly in a professional context. You often do work in some kind of care or assisting role, and it's important for you to have some breaks from that because your sign is not really about structures. It's limitless, it's dreamy, it's drifting, expansive, because it's water, because the ruler of Neptune, that energy is very intangible. So Saturn being there is asking you to maybe put some boundaries in about when to say no, and then the gathering of Mercury, Mars and the Sun in Scorpio is saying, look, you need to break out and have a bit of space. Go and do something completely spontaneously just for yourself, or something stimulating or exciting, or learn some new skills, apply for a course, go for a day out. And the quarter moon saying, hold on, you're always the responsible one who helps others. And you could find yourself having to work things round a bit if you really want to stay with that being more daring. But this week has so much going for it, to be truthful. It really is probably one of the best weeks I can remember for you for some while. So enjoy Saturn going direct. It's not going to be a panacea, but it will ease things, particularly if you're born early on. But there's lots of stuff for you to go for here in terms of how you link and communicate and interact and socialize with other people. And some things can happen very, very quickly and cause a stir of real excitement. Now, I'd just like to remind you, if you've yet to order your year 2024 forecast transit report, transits is where the planets in the sky interact with your natal positions. That creates an influence that's totally unique for each person. If you'd like to order it, you'll get the rest of this year free, plus 30% off, and get your life roadmap, your character analysis report, which will give you a much more intimate understanding of the patterns that have played out in your life so far and learn how to work with them more successfully future forwards. Please see the link below for more.